The Galactic Council chamber stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian, its crystalline walls reflecting the bioluminescent patterns of 1,000 species. Ambassador Zethkar of the Dominion stood at the center podium, his 12 tentacles writhing with satisfaction as he prepared to deliver what he believed would be humanity's final ultimatum. Captain Sarah Chen sat motionless in the human delegation's modest section, her weathered hands folded calmly in her lap. Behind her, the small contingent of Earth's representatives, scientists, diplomats, and military advisors, waited with practiced patience. They had traveled 18 months through the void to reach this moment. Representatives of the species. Designated human, Zethkar began, his translator converting his chemical emissions into audible words. You have been summoned before this council to receive the terms of your integration into civilized galactic society. The chamber fell, silent. Even the perpetual hum of life support systems seemed to pause. Zethkar's chrome-plated exoskeleton gleamed as he gestured toward the holographic display materializing above the assembly. Images cascaded through the air. Sprawling factory worlds, mining operations on dead planets, endless conveyor belts, tended by hunched figures. Your species shows potential, he continued, the word dripping with condescension. Your biological adaptability is adequate. Your manual dexterity, while crude, could prove useful in certain industrial applications. Your reproductive rate ensures a sustainable workforce. Captain Chen's expression didn't change, but her aide noticed the slight tightening around her eyes. Therefore, Zethkar announced, his tentacles spreading wide in what his species considered a gesture of magnanimous generosity. The Galactic Council offers humanity a place in our civilization. You will be relocated to designation Gamma 7, where your people will contribute to the greater good. Your children will be educated in proper galactic citizenship. Your adults will find purpose in meaningful labor. The hologram shifted to show humanoid figures in gray uniforms, their faces blank, working in perfect synchronization. Other species watched from elevated platforms, their alien features twisted into expressions of superiority. In return, Zethkar's voice grew warmer. You will receive protection, sustenance, and the privilege of serving those more evolutionarily advanced than yourselves. Your violent tendencies will be managed. Your chaotic individualism will be replaced with harmony. The alien ambassador paused, clearly expecting some response, gratitude perhaps, or fearful acceptance. The silence stretched. Then Captain Chen began to laugh. It started as a quiet chuckle barely audible in the vast chamber, but it grew. The sound echoed off the crystalline walls, multiplying and amplifying until it filled every corner of the great hall. The other human delegates joined in. First Dr. Rodriguez with his booming guffaw, then General Morrison with his dry military humor, then the entire human contingent until their laughter created a symphony of mirth that seemed to shake the very foundations of the ancient chamber. Zethkar's tentacles recoiled in confusion. Across the assembly, alien representatives shifted uneasily, their various sensory organs focusing on the humans with mixtures of bewilderment and growing concern. Captain Chen wiped tears from her eyes and stood slowly. The laughter died to respectful silence as she approached the podium. Forgive me, Ambassador Zethkar, she said, her voice carrying easily through the chamber's acoustics, but your offer reminded me of something from our history. She activated her own holographic display. Images of Earth flashed through the air, not the sanitized promotional materials the Council had reviewed, but the raw truth of human existence. Cities that gleamed with impossible architecture, vessels that bent space itself, laboratories where humans peered into the fundamental structure of reality. 600 years ago, another group made a similar offer to my people, Chen continued. They promised us protection if we would simply kneel. They offered us peace if we would abandon our weapons. They guaranteed us prosperity if we would only surrender our freedom. The hologram showed burning ships against a stellar backdrop, not human vessels but alien ones. Sleek Dominion cruisers, their hulls cracked and bleeding atmosphere into the void. We laughed at them too. Zethkar's chemical emissions shifted to frequencies that registered as alarm on the translation systems. Impossible. Our intelligence indicates that humans have barely achieved interstellar flight. Your weapons are primitive chemical explosives and electromagnetic projectiles. Your society is fragmented, chaotic. Our intelligence division would like to thank you for that assessment, Chen interrupted smoothly. It's amazing what people will overlook when they're convinced of their own superiority. The hologram changed again. This time it showed the truth. Human fleets moving between stars not with crude chemical rockets but with drives that folded space like origami. Weapons that didn't simply explode, but reached into parallel dimensions to tear holes in reality itself. Soldiers whose augmented bodies could survive in hard vacuum, and whose minds processed information at quantum speeds. You see, Chen said conversationally, humans have a peculiar relationship with authority. We tend to resist it, sometimes violently. It's gotten us into trouble over the centuries, but it's also driven us to accomplish things that more civilized species consider impossible. She gestured toward the assembled aliens, many of whom were now emanating pheromones of fear. Your offer assumes we need your protection. But from where I'm standing, it looks like you're the ones who might need protection from us. The chamber erupted into chaos. Delegates scattered toward exits that suddenly seemed very far away. Emergency beacons flashed as different species attempted to contact their home fleets. Translation systems overloaded, trying to convert the babble of panicked communications. Through it all, Zethkar remained frozen at his podium, his 12 tentacles hanging limp. Captain Chen collected her things and began walking toward the exit. Her delegation fell in behind her with military precision. "Wait," Zethkar called, out, his voice breaking with desperation. "What do you want?" Chen paused and looked back over her shoulder. For just a moment, her expression softened into something almost pitying. "Ambassador," she said gently, "we didn't come here to conquer you or to accept your chains. We came here to laugh at the very idea that either option was necessary." The humans left through the main entrance, their footsteps echoing in the suddenly empty chamber. Behind them, emergency lights continued to flash, and the Great Council of the Galaxy began to contemplate a universe where the newest species on the block had just politely declined their invitation to servitude. In the weeks that followed, human colonies throughout the galaxy received a simple message broadcast on all frequencies. Terms of integration have been renegotiated. We remain free. The laughter, they say, could be heard across 3 star systems.